Hi everyone, Annette Kessler here with a new video tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how to make a hexagon box, which is really cool, with little boxes inside. And you have, as usual, a cutting guide with all the measurements for all the pieces that you can download from the link in the description under the video. So we're going to start with our box piece, and we're going to score it at 1 7/8, 3 3/4, 5 5/8, 7 1/2, 9 3/8, and 11 1/4. A little bit confusing, but that's why you have everything written down that you can download, and then you have it in front of you and it's easier to follow along. So once we have scored all these score lines, we're going to turn the papers, and on the short side, and on the short side score it at 2 inches. And this is basically the piece that we're going to make the box from, and I'm going to show you how. So we're going to fold all the score lines, the vertical score lines, and then we're going to fold on the horizontal score line, and I'll show you how to make the little box. Okay, always burnish with your bone folder. Now we have all those squares, and we're going to cut from the bottom on that little score line and cut on a diagonal to create a little tab. This will close the box. And we're also going to cut along the vertical score lines from the bottom until the horizontal score line. This will allow us to create the bottom of the box. And connect everything together. Before you attach the box, we're going to cover the sides with the cover papers. You have all the measurements for that as well in the cutting guide. You can play with the pattern, with the colors of your papers, and decide how you want your box to look. We only need 5 cover papers. Now we are ready to close the box. So we're going to apply glue on that little tab on the right and attach it to the end of the paper like this. Just close it. Now we're going to attach all the pieces that we cut on the bottom. Now there's a little trick to that. We want to have an accurate hexagon. So if we just do this, we will not keep the shape of the hexagon. So what we're going to do is attach 2 opposite squares and align them together. And once we align all the squares together, you will see that we'll get the perfect hexagon. So when you attach the first two, make sure that they're aligned, that their edges align together straight. See, this is not straight. You need to move it in order for it to be exactly aligned. Always attach 2 opposite squares. And if you need to move it a little bit, move it until they're aligned together, one exactly on top of the other. And then, see, it moved a little bit, so I need to adjust. Make sure they're perfectly aligned. And then the last 2 squares, and that will give us a perfect hexagon. Okay, just adjusting the alignment Okay, so now you have the perfect hexagon, and you need to make 2 more boxes exactly the same thing. So altogether you need 3 boxes. Now I'm going to show you how to make the outer box. So we're going to take the outer box piece and score it at 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. This is really easy, every 2 inches. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Now the outer box has 2 pieces, so this is the largest one, and then we're going to bring in the smaller piece for the outer box and score it on the short side at 2 and 4. And we're going to attach these 2 pieces to create one large piece, like this. And this will be our hexagon box. So we're going to apply glue. First, let's fold on all the fold lines. And then we can go ahead and attach the 2 pieces together to create that one large piece that we need to make the box. I always like to burnish my folds with a bone folder, and I'm going to apply glue to the right side of that little tab there and attach the second piece. Now I have a long piece of cardstock to make my box. Just make sure it's aligned. Okay. So now we have our outer box piece ready. And we're going to cover it with the cover papers. And again, here you can play with your papers. You can choose different patterns. You can use solid color papers. You can even leave the large piece as it is. You don't have to cover it with cover papers, but I think it really adds to its look. Looks much better this way. So it's up to you how you want your box to look. I'm going to make it as colorful as possible. Just going to finish with all my cover pieces. This is the last one. We don't cover the last tab because that is where we put the glue. But I'm going to cover it anyway, just to make sure that all the pieces are covered. I don't know which way I want to attach the sides. So now we are going to attach the boxes to the inside of our box. So we're going to put the bottom box on the second panel, and then the middle box on the 5th panel, and the top box on the one before last panel, which is the 7th panel. Make sure you align the bottom, but leave about 1/8 of an inch gap between the edge of the paper and the bottom of the box. So you apply the glue on the empty square that is not covered, and then you attach the box. So the second box goes to the 4th panel, not the 5th panel. And then I'm going to attach the last box to the 6th panel. So 2, 4, and 6. That's the panels that you need to attach the boxes to. So you have 2 free panels on the right side with nothing attached to them. And now when you close the box like this, they all align together. Isn't that cool? Now all we need to do is make our lid. So we're going to bring in the two pieces for the lid. So we're going to score the first piece first, the larger one, and we're going to score it at 2 1/8, 4 1/4, 6 3/8, 8 1/2, and 10 5/8. A little bit confusing, but again, you have it all written in the instructions in the cutting guide that you can download for free from the link in the description under the video. So you can go ahead and grab that, and then you'll have everything written in front of you, so it will be easier. And then we're going to score on the short side at 2 inches. And for the little piece, we're going to score on the long side at 2 inches, and then on the short side again at 2 inches. So again, we're doing that because we need to attach the two pieces together to make the lid like we did with the box. Create one large piece of paper. So let's fold on all the fold lines. I just want to make sure that I'm using the smallest. You can see that there are two sizes of squares on the paper. So you're going to need to create the tab on the smallest, on the smaller part of the squares, and then attach the two pieces together, because the larger squares are going to be the top of the lid, and then the smaller part, the smaller squares are going to go around, going to be the walls of the lid. And now, exactly like we did with the box, we're going to cut from the edge to the score line on the longer side where the squares are larger, okay, where there is no tab. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. Close, apply glue on the tab and close the lid. You can cover it with cover papers if you want. I just left it like this. And then we're going to join the two opposite squares exactly like we did with the box to achieve a perfect hexagon. So don't forget to align the two opposite squares to make sure that you get that perfect shape. So it's the exact same process as we did for the box. If you need to move it a little bit to make sure that it's aligned, go ahead and do that. I always turn it and press it against the table to make sure it's glued properly. And now the final pair, and again we have a perfect hexagon. Now this part is going to be on the top because it's a lid, so if you want you can go ahead and cover it. I've punched 2 circles. You can add stickers, you can add papers, you can add whatever you want to embellish it, and basically make the box your own. So I really like how this project turned out. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video, so you won't miss anything and you'll be able to follow all the tutorials and make all the projects. So this is our hexagon box. I really hope you like this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time.